Oh, these cookies are so good.
Yep, I can feel the diabetes.
Okay, so this is the concept, mission plan for whatever this podcast is going to be called. We'll discuss that at the end. First of all, who are we? I personally am Chad Kinsler. I am going to be the editor and the runner of the channel for podcast name here.
Which would be a good name for the podcast.
No.
I am Daniel Bayshore, professional asshole.
That he is.
I am Zach Smith, unlicensed asshole.
I trade him on the off.
And I am Sean Webb, a goofy goober.
And I'm Andrew Webb, the game master for some times, and other times just the swoon dude.
The first thing that I have is, what kind of people do we want on the podcast? Or rather, I think it would be better to say, what kind of people do we not want to have on this podcast?
I think if we're going to be playing multiple games, like, we can discuss the structure of that later, but we're going to be doing more than just, like, playing one game all the time. And so, I think the podcast should be sort of the way you would normally do that, where if you're playing, like, a certain type of game, like you're playing D&D, you don't necessarily want the full crew that you had for esoterrorists.
Yeah.
Or some kind of science fiction game. We want someone that we can freaking flow with. That should be a given. That's kind of like a given for any podcast, and usually any game.
Yeah, I gotta have good bounce off.
Are you talking about like play styles or general attitude?
Either, I guess.
Both, really. They
Either.
need to be able to respect that the game, for one, and be fun to play with. I mean, we don't want to play with people
They
who's not
should.
fun.
We
They
need-
should be sufficiently. I mean, humorous, like not
We need
stone
some- we need
faced
some
like
flexible.
wah-wah, but able to tell a joke or two. And they should also, be adequate in role playing, like able to stick in character and not do something because that's what they would do and not what their character would do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need a good balance of someone who can roleplay, but also can goof off when we goof off with flexibility. I think that should be a given.
Yeah.
We should also make sure to keep outside prep outside. Let's make sure not to have anyone who wishes to talk politics or that crap.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't want anything to be too serious.
Yeah,
Well-
like I think, of course we shouldn't talk too many things about things that actually happen to us outside of role playing games. But we didn't actually do that.
Yeah. If
The most political we should get is like Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton is
So,
Trump.
so you're telling me
Stupid.
I can't
Yeah.
play one of Donald Trump's sons?
No, that's
Yeah.
perfect. But when you're like, and this is why we should vote for this person, or
this is why the patriarchy is real. I don't care what sort of politics it is. It's just
You gotta-
keep that
people-
out of my house.
oh my goodness.
Out of my house.
Second is should we split the sessions up by session, or should we split each session into parts? Because if we split it up by just session, each episode or each video or podcast is going to be really long.
Honestly,
I think
there's a lot of podcasts out there that's 2 to 3 hours, so it's not.
That's what I was going to say. Podcasts usually run around 2 hours.
All right, idea.
But our sessions take longer than. I mean,
Well, a podcast normally lasts a couple hours, but some people just don't want to listen to a full 2-hour video.
Yeah.
It's strange because they'll watch like 5 videos consisting of 3 hours, but one 3-hour video.
that's the thing.
So I think
if
we should have like an uncut version. Of course, we cut out what we have to, but an all in one piece session on like a SoundCloud, and then on YouTube we break it up into
That's what I was
like,
just thinking.
20 or 30-minute segments.
Well, we could also break it up on SoundCloud too. Like, I mean, on the parts we actually play the game and aren't just like goofing off, and it's like tons of memes being tossed around like a birthday cake hooker.
like a trash fire.
What?
I mean, I don't know, but I mean, what do you
That's a
guys
weird
think? How much time we're actually playing? Maybe like 3 hours. If it's a long one, 3 hours.
Depends.
But if it's a
like,
shorter one, maybe 2.
Well,
like, then we had the Halloween holiday special where we were up all night to the point where it got delirious.
That would have to be split up. I
Yeah.
think that the podcasts which go on to like the actual things that are supposed to be podcasts, like iTunes or something like that, SoundCloud, that should be running around 2 to 3 hours. If it gets longer than 3, or longer than around 3, then maybe we should be splitting it up, because that's just like it's way too long for someone to listen to, even in one day through doing
Yeah.
whatever they're doing.
I think definitely, if it's around, if it gets to like more than 2.5 hours or so, just split it up into 2 parts, as opposed to like, okay, full 2-hour episode, and then here's the 30-minute
Yeah.
bonus. But that's once again kind of a given.
Where should we be publishing this? I mean, YouTube and iTunes are the obvious ones, at least. You mentioned SoundCloud earlier.
I think SoundCloud is simpler and definitely like, you don't have to download it. You can just go to the website and just click on it.
Won't we have to go through like a bunch of barriers with iTunes?
Yeah, iTunes might not
I think
let
you,
us.
have to like
I don't-
actually
I-
set that up.
I think with the stuff we do in the sessions,
Yeah.
iTunes isn't going to work. A thing like SoundCloud will, YouTube, yeah, definitely.
Because
But the thing
SoundCloud is like an audio YouTube. Just
But the
put
thing
whatever
with
you want there.
YouTube is that it would just be a black screen. So I think SoundCloud. Or
well,
any
Was
other
that going to
site
be
like
another
that.
point?
It's not, so I'll discuss it now. I'm taking a little bit of inspiration from a podcast I listen to, Hello Internet, where the video is just a looping GIF,
Yeah.
and it loops like well, not just like like it looks bad, but like a few things from cinematography and stuff like that. Things
Yeah.
that loop
think-
nicely
I mean-
and look nice.
As we're willing
the
to-
Sleepy Cabin guys, their podcast is just a looping cabin in the woods emitting smoke from the chimney while classical music
I mean,
plays.
yeah, things like that. That would be fine. But
Yeah,
we
I
need
think
a graphic.
in certain sessions, if someone's willing to put in the effort, like maybe in certain scenes, just like draw a still of what's happening in this general time frame. Like,
Hey man, you've seen my paint.
Oh god.
like
no.
just like when we're going through the motions at the beginning of the lab, just sort of have like a picture of us walking on toward the lab.
All right.
Near the end during the fight scene, like the first part, just have us all on the helicopter.
I'm not sure if I can do that. I'm not very good.
See, that's what I'm saying. This probably be like later down the line if we got more people committed to the art,
Alright.
or if we got hopefully fans just being like, "Hey, let me draw you a thing."
Or
Alright.
of course, I can always try my hand at MS Paint.
You already have.
What are our limits? Are we going to restrict ourselves to mainly audio format, or are we going to have possibly in the future videos of us playing possibly a board game or something
I
like
think-
that?
I could do videos.
Yeah, I think if we got nice looking videos, we're gonna do nice looking cameras. Videos would definitely be good. Maybe sometimes if like we had a guest over wasn't comfortable or whatever, we don't have to. But I think it'd definitely be fun.
Let's wait till videos though till we get like a good gauge of our like audience. Should we even have one?
Yeah.
I think we need to get a little like comfortable with the podcast and then like evolve, if you will, to the
Yes.
next stage, video.
I don't want to have to put too much effort into it if we're not going to have anyone watching.
Yeah,
the
I don't
damn
think we
thing,
have to
so-
like do a bunch of crazy editing. Like
Wacky
if we were having some kind of big special, then maybe do like Yaga's Quest, where you have like, I really like where they would do the interview bits.
Yeah, that was cute.
Yeah.
Die.
Maybe if someone's feeling it, get in costume relative to the game.
Basically, at any point that visuals become relevant, maybe we'll think about doing
Yeah, if it's
videos. But like with something like this, I feel like the only time that I feel like seeing is relevant is for like expression where you're, I don't know, referring to somebody or something, and through audio people can't tell
I
who
think
you're referring
some
to.
games would definitely be good, like Fiasco.
Yeah, that would be a good one because that does rely a lot on your
And characters
emotions.
playing, like, one person could play 3 different characters in a scene because there's no DM.
Yeah. Do we even want fans, or do we even want to be popular? Or is it something that we're striving for?
I think, I don't think we should just be like, oh, we're just doing it for us. I think, we should, like, once it stops being fun, we shouldn't do it, just like anything else. But I don't think we should exclude the idea of growing. Like, once again, far-fetched, but who knows if we got, like, a couple hundred people.
I would be happy with 50.
Yeah, I'd be
that's what I'm
happy.
saying. I'd be happy with a really small audience, but because I
And
think
we
that
could name them something stupid.
It's not like you can really do
Bro,
population
army.
control. It can't be like, no, everyone stop subscribing. The only way you can do that is by saying something like unabashedly racist.
what I'm
Like,
what I'm
not funny racist. Like
Yeah.
actually racist.
Yeah.
what I'm saying, what I think is that this is right now not supposed to interfere with how we're playing our games, for one. That's one of the core concepts. I don't want us to change how we play just because it's being recorded.
Well, I did change how I was eating. John didn't. You were
Well,
like,
that's one thing where it's like,
right,
you know,
right next
I-
to the microphone.
I probably
that's
ruined
more of
the
like
first
trying
half.
to stay on top.
Ruined all of
Like
it.
we got carried away and that was fun, but it's not like, you know, we just kind of got silent and then, you know, just went for 20 minutes and then just munched chips right into the microphone. That you should like care about the quality, but you should still play like you'd always play.
That's what I'm saying. We should
Just be
care
more
that
on
it's being
point.
recorded, but we shouldn't change our attitude just because we're being
so
recorded.
basically just like considering like actual audio quality, like, hey, stop eating chips right into the fucking microphone, Sean.
I was right here, alright? Maybe right here. It wasn't
That's
that
right
close.
next to my, they could probably
like,
hear me chewing on chips, and I'm like a good 2 feet farther away from the microphone. Actually, I'd say I'm significantly farther. You're like maybe a
You
foot and a half
managed to
away.
unwrap every Starburst in the loudest way possible.
I haven't tested this mic out a ton, but I don't think that's a problem because this is a shotgun mic. Pretty much how we're hearing this, it's gonna be how it sounds. Like unwrapping that might not even pick up, honestly, because the music that was playing earlier when we were testing it out,
Yeah.
it wasn't really that loud. Like you could hear it, like it felt like background music, and I really liked that. You heard it, but it wasn't blocking out anyone speaking or anything. Like if you unwrap like a bag of chips or something, yeah, you'll probably hear that, but I don't think it'll be intrusive. And I mean that brings we're there's no mystery that we are sitting around a table eating bags of chips, drinking soda, and eating cookies right in a plate in front of this microphone. That's the reality of this. We're not in some studio or anything, and we never will be.
Well, you don't know. You could become YouTube famous.
Are we going to do ads now or ever in the future on our videos?
Here's the way I feel about it. There are two ways you can do ads that I think aren't shameful. At the end of the day, if you have ads, which if we can get them, it'd be good to just have money coming from somewhere to go into the show. Higher quality mics, cameras, insulated padding for a room to keep out the yelling from other rooms. Because
the fighting of my parents
yeah,
upstairs.
when I hear your mom
Screaming.
slapping your father with a cod.
The window smashing.
It's not domestic abuse. They're doing a slapstick bit.
Yeah.
It's the only thing keeping their marriage aflame.
The difference between slapstick and domestic violence is if you record it.
Yeah. How many fish did you use? How much food was involved? The more food, the more slapstick.
Was there a couple nyah.
Yeah, like yeah, amongst the crying.
Yeah.
Amongst the crying and furniture being packaged away over to mom's house. Anyway,
Not a bit too
but
real.
like you're gonna have people, if we get ads, who are gonna be like, "Oh, you guys are sellouts," but it's like, you know,
To quote the wise JonTron, JonTron show is free. You know what isn't free? Food.
So yeah, I think there are two ways you can do it. Ad breaks where it's like, you know, for 30 seconds in a 2-hour podcast. Well, there might be more than 30
This
seconds.
podcast is sponsored by Audible.com, stuff like that.
Yeah, or if like at the beginning, I don't want to do it at the end, but if like at the beginning, okay, this podcast, you know, is brought to you by Audible. Audible.com is a really
or like
popular one.
during
Or whatever.
breaks, like whenever we have, you know, food.
Yeah, like, okay, we're going to take our bathroom break. We're going to take our snack break. Whatever. You can just have a little, like, pre-recorded snippet or however advertising is going to work. If it's on YouTube, YouTube will take care of it. Or if we do, like, the JonTron thing, the game theory thing, where we get, like, a more personal contract, not through YouTube, but through, like, the person directly.
How it feels to chew
Um,
gum, just a distant explosion.
Like, if we're getting, like, ads from YouTube, then, you know, we can't really control what's going to be there. At least I don't think. I don't know
That's one of the
system.
things I want to talk about. Since this is going on YouTube, I could choose just not to have ads in the video if we don't want them.
Well,
like I could just
if
turn
we,
them off.
If we get the offer, then like trying to make some extra money going to the podcast, I think we
mean-
should address it when it happens.
I mean,
And if like 100% of the audience is like, you're sellouts, then I guess like, oh well,
mean, all right.
you live with your crappy microphone, which I don't know. I don't think it's crappy. It looks. I'm gonna touch it. I'm gonna touch it directly. Ooh, can you hear that?
They can definitely hear that.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Ooh.
You know, all right, how many of us use AdBlock?
Not me. I don't know how to computer
I
song
do
use it.
not. I do not. And
do
I
not.
do that on purpose.
You're literally the only person here that does.
Oh, okay.
You're terrible.
Because like
Yeah, you're
usually
I'm sorry
I
I,
don't-
get uninterrupted
Okay, well,
YouTube videos.
I don't watch
I have
what you
some
would
that
call-
use it for a few websites. Facebook and like some other places. I forgot.
I mean,
some,
I'll
but
unblock
especially
it.
Facebook.
I'll unblock it on the website that I use, but if it's like,
My
90% of the websites
I-
use.
Anytime that
filler
I have
website.
used ad block, I have always whitelisted or blacklisted YouTube because like they're content creators. I listen to a lot of stuff. I listen to podcasts on there. I listen to videos about education, Vsauce, minute physics, whatever.
This just
those
become
people-
a shame Daniel.
Those
podcast.
people.
Yes.
This is not a shame, Daniel. This is an important discussion, and I'm not
This is
hating
what-
on
I'm
you
just-
for
I'm just like-
using.
I don't watch a lot of what some may call like corporate YouTube, where like say your PewDiePies or whatever, where they're making millions. I usually watch slightly more independent, closer to the few thousand range, couple 100,000, which I know is not small, but
Yeah.
it's like
They're not the
Medium
Titans.
size.
yeah, they're not making thousands per video. Where I'm just like, oh hey, I want you to keep making this so I can get my laughies, and I want that. I want to make laughies.
All right, well, back to the podcast.
But yeah.
So I think that right now we're not going to have ads.
Well, yeah,
We're
we'll
not
probably
gonna
shut it
chance
for a
to.
while. Yeah.
Oh no!
When
'cause
it
when,
come-
you, when
when
you
it
sign
comes-
up for YouTube, you can immediately become a partner.
See,
It's
You
better
can-
to wait because you get better deals.
Yeah, it is better to wait. So right now, nothing's gonna happen. Hopefully, these aren't too busy to edit, and they don't feel like a job to me. At least they don't feel like a job when I do video editing, so it should be fine. So this is for us, but anyone that might watch.
good times.
The name of the podcast.
Oh boy.
So
Politically incorrect, the D&D session.
I am almost.
It has to include politically
I
incorrect.
am almost
because
certain
we,
politically incorrect is like 5 different podcasts that have to
it is.
exist.
In fact, I can tell you right now, the politicians politically incorrect is the name of Bill's podcast.
Oh yeah, like there was apparently some big split up with Bill and his
Yep.
group because like they all were edgelords and then joined some other bigger group,
Yep, that's what.
and then he's like, I just want to make my cartoons.
But you had the idea for Behind the Screen.
wrong side of the screen.
The wrong side of the screen. Zach and I were talking about imagination required.
Yep.
Imagination required. So then there are some other ones like Tales from the Tabletop. What was some other ones?
I like wrong
I'm
side
not-
of the screen because that could also be taken and like we're not right in the head.
Yeah.
You're on the wrong side of the computer screen. You're on the wrong side of the game.
You're on the
screen.
wrong side of life, basically. Why don't you
The
have a
weird
job
part of
yet?
YouTube? No, you're in the shady part of YouTube. The
And
weird
I've-
part of YouTube's a David Lynch film. This is the Bronx. Or whatever is the
This is
culture.
YouTube Detroit.
YouTube Detroit, yeah. There's no money
See,
and
we're doing it
everyone's
again.
desperate.
Can't stop it.
There's lead in the water.
Yeah.
Just gotta let that.
Children are getting more and more stupid as they become exposed.
It's like an Elizabethan woman just like dumping her chamber pot down onto the cobblestone street. It's like
We
that.
are that cobblestone street, but we
yeah.
are also the chamber pot.
That's why I think. That's why I think wrong side of the screen would be nice. It's able
I
to
don't
be.
think it's bad.
It would be able to be interpreted multiple ways.
And
And
personally, the main reason we're sticking with it is because we came up with it and we like it.
I like
well,
it, and I just heard it.
there are a few reasons why I like Imagination Required. No, don't get me wrong. I really like that name.
No, go fuck yourself.
Have you ever thought of killing yourself?
Yes, multiple times today.
There are a few.
I am actually handing you a gun across the table. Hear it slide.
Oh, geez.
Click. That is me readying a bullet in the gun chamber. Put the gun in your face mouth and shoot it in your face mouth.
It's an alien.
Therefore killing you.
Okay, so
That's the whole podcast right there, just me talking like that.
it just ends with a gunshot.
We'll be right
There,
there.
there are a few reasons why. I like-
Episode 0, Chad, kill yourself.
There are a few reasons why I like Imagination Required over Wrong Side of the Screen, and that is both of them. For one, both of them are distinct names, and I've looked it up, and they are not really taken by anything, which is why. But that's the main reason why I'm not using Tale from the Tabletop, because there is a webcomic online, and I don't want to take anyone's name or anything.
Like, even if they don't notice, it'll confuse searches.
It'll confuse searches. So
Like when people buy our T-shirts, our limited edition Speedos with built-in cup
No,
holders.
I think when people are trying to buy that
People
webcomic
trying to sue
merchandise,
us.
like who are these Spurgs on it? Jeez.
Spurg.
But besides that, I
Sorry.
like Imagination Required because it can be easily abbreviated, and I feel like it's a name that's easily distinct and is easily rememberable.
What? You don't like the abbreviation WASAUCE? Yo,
I kind of like it when you say it like that.
Wasauce in
Would you
the
like to
house.
buy our wasauce?
Wasauce.
Wasauce brand wasabi sauce.
WASAUCE spread wasabi sauce.
Put it on your kids.
Even if they say no.
Yeah, especially if they say no. All right, they say no to vegetables. Vegetables are good for them. If your kid says no, do it. Welcome to the podcast. Our motto is: if your kids say no, do it. Put it on a T-shirt.
But as we're talking, I am starting to like Wrong Side of the Screen because it does have that multiple interpretations thing, and it is, you know, even without the multiple interpretations, just the literal sense of it is that. How would you explain it? I don't know how to talk.
But wrong side of the screen. Just to sum it up with just as a little interpretation is. You're on the wrong side of the screen, pal. We're having fun. You're watching us have fun.
You're a loser.
Hey, well, no, they're with us. They're with us in
Yeah.
spirit. They're in that little black box.
What are you doing? Kissing a girl, loser? Help us fight
I'm
aliens.
sitting
How do
here
you kiss a
eating
girl? You like
cookies.
start eating her lips, right? Like,
Hey, I've watched The Little Mermaid. Sebastian's taught me.
That being said, I don't think
I
there's
don't think
anything
fish have
wrong
tongues.
with listening to a podcast about this.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they're sitting there at a computer doing nothing else. Like,
Yeah.
you do it while you're working out or something. Like people who are just in RPGs want to work out.
Yeah.
But
Like what I used to do, I only ever listened to one podcast, and that was Weisenheimer's. But like I just play Minecraft by myself. I'm like, God, this game is so empty, but I want to build things. So I just listened to a podcast while I did that.
that's yeah. I do it when I'm doing something and I don't need my full mind on that.
When you're on
Yeah,
the daily
so-
grind,
Yeah.
you want to listen
but not
to
on
like
Grindr.
5 assholes eating stuff that you don't get to eat.
5
next
stuffs
to the
eating
microphone.
assholes.
5 guys.
Once again, Grindr.
Hey,
Wrong
dude.
side of the screen can mean you're on the wrong side of the screen. Literally, you're on the other side of the screen not playing. Wrong side of the screen could mean we're not right.
But
Wrong
I'm on
side
the
of
right
screen
side
could
of the
mean-
spectrum.
You're in that like Adolf Hitler level of the spectrum. We're looking more for like that mid-range mild-mannered Rain Man,
Mild-mannered
up
Bruce
to Albert
Wayne.
Einstein. Maybe Hank Hill.
Boy, Bobby.
You're like on
What are you
you're
doing with
Sterling
that
Archer
pony-shaped
on
pillow?
your way to Hitler.
Yeah.
I don't know why I think Hitler might have been mildly autistic.
I think that's why I kind
He
of
was
like
so-
want to vote Trump.
why.
No.
But that is also like our motto. It was a joke though. It was funny.
Just the prank, bro.
Rank pro.
The- wrong side of the screen. The podcast version of it's just a prank, bro.
So, what do you guys think it should be named? I think that this should decide it.
I think Wasauce is a.
I am now attached to Wasauce. Earlier I was like, I like my imagination required, but the second it was called Wasauce, I was okay with it. I like the word sauce.
Hey, what's saucy?
Unless someone says,
Wasauce.
no, it'd be Wasauce, because I don't know why I thought it was an A, is wrong side of the screen, then it would be like, Wasass.
Maybe that's what a front name would be. Just Wasauce, and then below it, wrong side of the screen.
No, it should be Wrong Side of the Screen.
Wait-
Because that
wait
could stand
until-
for some other things too.
Wait until we've gotten enough popularity that we can openly call it Wasauce.
So then we can call our friends wasabis. Kill them.
No, call
Sauce
call our
wasabis.
fans wasabis.
Yeah.
Wasabi.
Hey, what's up, wasabis?
What's up,
Oh
Wasabi?
God, kill me now.
Bro, feast.
I no longer
Like,
wanted to
this'll be
live
our-
the second I stepped down here. I'll be honest. I
And this
lost
is
my
your
will to
basement.
live. I know.
It happens every day. You
I
wanna
never
get on
come
the
down here. I
Xbox.
just stay in my room. What am I doing?
Ew.
Who
I
are
can
you
see my
people?
legs. Follow us on Patreon. If we get $1 million, we can film the podcast on the moon. We will burn PewDiePie for fuel to get to the moon.
All right, PewDiePie.
He's made of millions of dollars. Dollars that burn us to the moon.
Dense money.
Liquid money.
So I think that we have all agreed. I like wrong side of the screen now. So wrong side of the screen.
I like that. I think that name is saucy.
Keep it spicy, Wasabis.